If you've ever built a long, complicated form in Power Apps, you know that sinking feeling. Well, today we're going to completely change the game. We are turning that confusing clutter into something that's crystal clear and, dare I say, actually enjoyable for your users.
So, let me ask you something. Have you ever built a form, you step back to look at it, and you just realize it's a giant, intimidating wall of fields? Yeah, it's a super common problem, and it can absolutely tank the user experience.
And for your users, all they see is endless scrolling. They're trying to hunt for that one field they need to fill out, they're getting lost, and honestly, they're getting frustrated. It really is a usability nightmare, and it makes even the most powerful app feel kind of clunky and unprofessional. But here's the great news. There is a simple, really elegant solution to this. So, let's fix it. Okay, our journey from that cluttered mess to total clarity, it all starts with one big idea. Let's break down exactly what that is. And that solution is the tabbed form. The concept is incredibly simple when you think about it. Instead of one giant long list, we organize all our fields into logical groups, almost like chapters in a book. Your user only sees what's relevant to the tab they've selected, which keeps the whole interface clean and totally focused.
So how does this all work under the hood? Let's peel back the layers and look at the core concept. And I promise it's way simpler than you might think.
It really just comes down to these three building blocks. First, you've got the tabs themselves, which are just a simple list of your categories. Second, you have your form, which, and this is key, still contains all the fields. They're just kind of stacked on top of each other. And third, this is the magic piece, the logic. This is the simple rule that tells Power Apps which group of fields to show and which ones to hide. The best way to think about it is like a light switch for your data. When a user clicks the Contact Info tab, click, only the phone and email fields light up. All the other fields for location and notes, they're still there on the form, they're just turned off for now. It's that simple and that intuitive.
Okay, so the concept makes sense. Now let's get to the fun part and see how this actually gets built out in the app.
Step 1 is by far the easiest. Before you write a single line of logic, you just have to decide on your categories. What are the logical groupings for your data? General info, contact details, location. You're just planning out the structure first.
And creating them in the app is just as simple. You are literally just giving Power Apps a list of text inside some square brackets. That's it. No complex formulas here, just the names you want your tabs to have. This becomes your navigation menu.
All right, now for the part that brings this whole thing to life. We need to tell each group of fields which tab they actually belong to. This is where we wire up our light switches. So here's the secret sauce. For each data card, like company name, we go to its visible property. Then we write a super simple rule. This formula is just asking a true or false question. Hey, is the currently selected tab called General? If the answer is yes, the field is visible. If the answer is no, it's hidden. That is the entire logic. You just repeat that simple pattern for each group of fields.
Now you do have a couple of ways you can build the tabs themselves. The modern tab control is the new, clean, future-proof standard. And honestly, it's what I'd recommend starting with. But if you need to guarantee compatibility with older app versions, building your tabs with a horizontal gallery is a rock-solid, classic technique that always works. The important thing is, both methods use the exact same core logic we just talked about.
So building the basic tabs gets you like 80% of the way there. But now, let's add that professional polish that's going to make your form truly robust and a joy to use. These pro tips are going to take your app to a whole new level. First up, cross-tab validation. Put a little red dot on any tab that has a required field missing inside of it. So helpful. Second, a global submit guard. Don't even let them click the submit button until every required field across all the tabs is filled out. Third, smart error navigation. If they do try to submit an incomplete form, automatically jump them right to the first tab that has an error. And finally, a little performance tip. Put any heavy controls, like attachments, on their own dedicated tab. It'll make your form load so much faster.
So after you apply all these techniques, what's the real impact? What does this transformation actually look like? Well, it's huge.
Seriously, the difference is night and day. You go from that endless, frustrating scrolling to logical grouping. You replace all that user confusion with intuitive, simple navigation, and you elevate the entire app from something that feels like a quick fix to a polished, professional tool that people will actually enjoy using. That is why this matters so much. So I'll just leave you with this final thought. Think about the apps that you're working on right now.
What's that one long, complicated scrolling form that's just begging for a makeover? What complex form are you going to simplify first?